Greetings, music lovers. I'm fiddling with my phone, which is doing the same thing as the online thing at StreamYard. I'm John Platt, and I welcome you to a cool summer night in the Northeast with three artists ranging from geographically the UK, a songwriter and guitarist named John Smith, a multi-instrumentalist and songwriter from Philadelphia, Lisa Jeanette, and an eclectic acoustic duo from Pittsburgh, the Squirrel Hillbillies. I am on Long Island, and I welcome you wherever you are. This is kind of a milestone of On Your Radar, because after 13 months of doing it virally, virtually online, we are going to be returning to Rockwood Music Hall in September, and I'll have details about that. So this is the last time to do it online, and I'm so grateful to you for following us on Facebook or YouTube, and wherever you are. I hope you're welcome. I know you're welcome. I hope you are enjoying the show. So it's the same drill as we always did at Rockwood. Three artists, each doing about 30 minutes of a set, plus a short Q&A up top with me. You will find a comment screen and tip jar, which I hope you will use copiously, because it will enable us to give the artists some remuneration for what they do, and I think you'll agree that they're well worth whatever you contribute. And you can also see that it's at paypal.me on your radar 2020. And as important, please share with your friends while we're doing this. Tell them it's archived if they can't possibly get to it live. It will be archived on Facebook Live and on YouTube. So without further ado, let me bring in from the UK, Mr. John Smith. John Platt meeting John Smith. How are you, my fellow John?
Hey, John. How you doing?
I'm fine. So where are we encountering you tonight?
So I live in the Clwydian Range, which is a series of mountains in North Wales. Yeah, in the northwest of the UK.
And that's meant to be a beautiful part of the world. Is that true?
It is, yeah. It's something else. Yeah, we just moved up last year. We had a change of scene and moved up to the mountains.
Yeah, so this is 5 hours later than us. I guess it's about midnight where you are.
Yeah,
appreciate your staying up late so we can do this.
It's a pleasure.
You were born in Sussex, I understand, and raised in Devon.
Essex. I was born in Essex. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, wrong Essex.
No, in the sort of in the misty hinterland between London and Essex. I was born in Barking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I get my Shakespearean references mixed up. You know, the Dukes of Sussex and Essex and all that. But I understand you were raised in Devon. I was raised in Devon too. Devon, Pennsylvania, which is also beautiful. But your Devon was by the seaside, I understand.
Yeah. I grew up right by the sea, and then when I was 19, I moved to Liverpool. I moved to the city to study music, and
Do you miss the sea?
I do every day. Yeah. I was just back there a couple of days ago, and it hurt, man. Pretty soon, at some point, I'll move back to the sea, I think.
Yeah, you're getting farther away from it.
Yeah.
Your album, the really fine album currently, is called The Fray. It's your sixth, as I understand.
Yes, sir.
You recorded at Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios, and you got some help from some other people who are not English, like the Milk Cat and Kids.
Yeah.
Lisa Hannigan, I guess, is she Irish?
She's Irish, yeah. She's in Dublin, yeah.
And Sarah Jarose, who did the duet with you on Eye to Eye, which is one of my personal favorites. But that song was actually written by another Sarah Siskin, right?
Yeah, we wrote that song together in Carolina somewhere. I can't remember the town she lives in, but I was driving from Asheville to Nashville, and I stopped in, and we wrote that song before lunch. It was one of those ones where it just happened really quickly, you know.
She's a great co-writer. Have you written with her before?
No, that was our first time.
Oh, well, it's a keeper, I would say.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You've got quite a resume as a session guitarist, I understand. Joan Baez, David Gray, Tom Jones, among others.
Yeah.
How important to you in your identity is being the guitarist as well as the singer?
Well, it's a great learning curve. You know, I spent a few years really focusing on being a session musician, and it gave me just a load of tools, for my toolbox. When I went back on stage to do my thing as a solo performer, I'd witnessed all these people holding a crowd in the palm of their hands or commanding a song in the way it should be, and all that can do is kind of inspire you for your own machine. So when I went back to it, having watched Joan Baez sing, or seen how Dave Gray holds a crowd, it's you just go back on stage feeling a little more experienced and a little more capable.
Who were some of your guitar heroes?
Very early on, it was Jimmy Page and Clapton, and then I discovered Nick Drake and John Renbourn and Bert Jansch and John Martin. So that the heavy lineage of the British folk guitar, that's where I come from.
Well, it's quite a pantheon.
Indeed. Yeah, those are the elders in my church.
Yeah, and I can hear that in your songs.
Cool.
How did you cope with the pandemic and Brexit on top of that?
Yeah, well, there were times when I wasn't sure if I was coping at all.
Yeah.
Double whammy. I coped by selling my house and moving my family to the hills and pursuing a slightly quieter life, and consolidating. It's a tricky time, to be a self-employed musician. So rolled with the punches and, kept my head above water. I know a few who didn't.
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of people made life-forming decisions, during the pandemic. I had a daughter who was living in Brooklyn, and now she lives in Florida, and you make your decisions, quality of life in a different context, I guess, huh? And people have remarked that you have, resilience and optimism in your music. There's a song called "Hold On," I think, that maybe speaks to that. Does that come into you, what you're doing now more than ever?
Yes, I think so. I think the album reflects my most recent turn of mind, which is a more optimistic and hopeful one. I think I responded to the sort of desolation of last year by deciding to be as optimistic as I could, and it got us through. My family and I, we decided that was how we were going to steer our way through it, and so far so good.
Well, we'll keep moving forward, and we'll ask you to give us a little bit of your music live from Wales here on your radar.
Yeah, I mean, if only it was in the Rockwood Music Hall, but well, one day. I'm going to sing you a song called "To the Shore," for which I put out a record today. A video of this song came out today. I know the tide is changing. Everywhere I go, I feel something like a stranger. I woke today and the world had up and left me when I was busy sleeping off the days when things were easy. Now the rain gets in, I embrace the dead. I can see the flood is coming, and I'm soaking to the skin, swimming out the door. What you waiting for? Let me look out on the waves, bringing everything I need to the shore. When I was young, the shield of my convictions protected me from knowing that in some way I was drifting. Time has worn up my defenses like a storm against my walls. If I don't hold myself together, pretty soon I'm gonna fall. Now the rain gets in, I embrace the din. I can see the flood is coming, and I'm soaking to the skin. Swimming out the door, what you waiting for? Gonna look out on the waves, bringing everything I need to the shore. Change with each new day, nothing ever stays the same. I'm lost and found. Now the rain gets in, I embrace the din. I can see the flood is coming. Yes, I'm soaking to the skin, swimming out the door. What you waiting for? Gonna look out on the waves, bringing everything I need to the shore. Oh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Well, now, John, you mentioned a song called Eye to Eye. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm going to play that song, Eye to Eye. What happened here? Is it true that we are breaking down? Can't believe that this had happened now. Can we make it right? What's going on? Used to be we read each other's minds. You and me together intertwined. Can we talk it out? I reach out, but my hands find empty spaces. And I look out, but I just see strangers' faces. Eye to eye, remember when you looked me in the eye. Eye to eye, no, I don't wanna have to wait in line. Can we stand? Eye to eye. What's going on? I walked 100 miles in your shoes. Yeah, you live like you got nothing to lose. Tell me, is it true? Where do we go? The road ahead just doesn't look the same. In the end, we have ourselves to blame. So what do we do? I cry, but I feel like you can't hear me. I need it. I wish that you were near me. Eye to eye, remember when you looked me in the eye. Eye to eye. I just see strangers' faces. Eye to eye, remember when you looked me in the eye. Eye to eye, no, I don't wanna have to wait in line. Can we stand eye to eye? Can we stand hand in hand, eye to Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here I am on the internet. Here I am on the internet again. Whoa. Well, this is another song from my new record. This is called Sanctuary. Drinking hard in circles, trying to forget. I lost a card or two, found myself in bed. She told me it was nothing. I could not disagree. So I woke up desperate for a little. With my coat and my chain, just stumbled out of there into the freezing morning. Let it lead me anywhere. I saw the future with eyes wide open, across a river of fallen leaves. Though you're gone, I was kind of hoping you'd still be there to shelter me, and I would find some sanctuary. I watched you run like crazy, chasing all those dreams. I tried to follow close, but I ran out of steam. Knew I'd lost you long before you had to leave. Walking past the station, getting colder now, remembering how you waited there the first time in this town. How I felt to hold you as the evening sun went down. I saw the future with eyes wide open, across a river of fallen leaves. Though you're gone, I was kind of hoping you'd still be there to shelter me, and I would find some sanctuary. Gotta let it go, I can't keep a line in the stars. I'm a fool if I think that wine and a stranger waking or wasted ever fixed a broken heart. It's a place to start. saw the future with eyes wide open across a river of fallen leaves. Though you're gone, I was kind of hoping you'd still be there to shelter me, and I would find some sanctuary. Well, thank you. So I think I have time for a couple more. I think, unless someone instructs me otherwise. All right. I'm receiving hidden messages on the side of my screen here. So, the last time I was in New York City, I had a funny old day. I was running a fever. This is back in 2019. I was opening for the great Peter Mulvey, and we were playing the recently demolished City Winery. And I was running a fever of 40 something degrees. In American money, that's 110. So it was something crazy, and I was all over the place. And the gig was interesting. I felt like I'd taken acid. But of course, having just got off a plane, that would have been impossible. So I played this gig, and I remember playing this song, and I remember it felt very peculiar, and it suited the song, because this is a strange, hallucinatory little folk song from a county called Somerset in the southwest of England, where I used to live. This song was collected by Cecil Sharp in the early part of the 20th century. And this is called Hares on the Mountain. And it goes like this. That's better. The old wrong key. I don't know if they had capos in 1907, but I'm glad I've got mine now. Sally, my darling, I wish I could wed you. Sally, my darling, I wish I could wed you. She smiled and replied, then you say I misled you. If young girls could sing like blackbirds and thrushes, young girls could sing like blackbirds and thrushes, how many young men would go beating the bushes? Young girls were hares on the mountain. If all
the young girls were heirs on the mountain, how many young men would take guns and go hunting? Sally, it's you I be kissing. Sally, Sally, it's you I'd be kissing. She smiled and replied, you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, if young men could swim like ducks on the water, could swim like ducks on the water, how many young girls would undress and dive after? All the young men were heirs on the mountain, how many young girls would take guns and go hunting? Young men were heirs on the mountain, if all the young men were heirs on the mountain, well, thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to play a couple more. This is the title song of the new record, The Fray. This song is called The Fray. Yeah, I think I can do that. Strange faces flicker in the movies, broken people fill my screen. I catch my reflection, it's just a trace of me before I disappear into the streets. I must have been a million different places where the things that I've seen. Everyone knows me from my couch to Radio City, but I barely know the person that I claim to be. And it's up all night, down all day. I don't know where I'm headed, but it seems I know the way. I wait for the lights to fade out and walk into the fray. We we all end up there anyway. I'm still looking for the kindness of strangers. Make you rich, won't cost a thing. And night ends wordlessly around these city scenes. I've been reaching out for friendship and the goodness that it brings. It's up all night and down all day. I don't know where I'm headed, but it seems I know the way. I wait for the lights to fade out and walk into the rain. We all end up there anyway, holding on to hope. I don't need a decent reason. Yes, I know it disappears sometimes. It returns with every season. Oh, and it's up all night, down all day. I don't know where I'm headed, but it seems I know the way. Wait for the lights to fade out and walk into the fray. We all end up there anyway. 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 Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey, Fred. Thanks, man. Let me get the singing tune. It was in tune when I bought it. This is a British guitar. This is by a company called Filed up in Penrith. If you want a proper British guitar, go and get yourself one of these. This is the best guitar in the world, this one. But they make other guitars. And this is a song called Far Too Good. And it's been a pleasure to play here tonight in the Rockwood Music Hall in North Wales. I'm looking forward to getting back over to your fine country and seeing you in the flesh. Thank you for having me, everyone. Tell me your dream, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What of your desire, hunger to say hi to fire. Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Just have a little faith, we could put it together. You're far too good for keeping down. I know your problem is clear to see, and I know I've been useless. Happen to do it, feel it just isn't worth the effort. How you gonna make yourself unhappy? How you gonna let it run you down? I wanna hold on as you unravel, even if you don't want me around. Sure, there must be something in the nothing I can do. Times I got to thinking I just made it worse for you. Tell me a dream. Is somewhere you wanna go, brother? Someone to be. What of your desire? What hunger to shade? High the fire. Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Just have a little faith we could put it together. You're far too good for keeping down. Far too good for keeping down. Far too good for keeping down. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Far too good. Not good enough. I gotta say, I could listen to you play all night. It's just starting with your guitar. You know, it's such a gorgeous sound, and I definitely hear a little John Martin echoes on "Eye to Eye" and other stuff. But "The Fray" is the album, which I'm trying to do my Stephen Colbert thing here, and it's really a wonderful record, start to finish. And boy, I hope you can come back to New York before too long. Maybe come back to Rockwood Music Hall, and I'd like to hear you all the way through. So
I'd love to. I would love
Yeah.
to. Thank you.
if we were at Rockwood, people would be buying tickets. If you're online on Facebook or YouTube, I hope you'll take advantage of the tip jar, because he certainly deserves all of your appreciation. We have got two more artists coming after that, and be sure to tell your friends that you want to share this, because this got to grow out and kind of grow like amoebas or whatever, whatever metaphor we can do that. Anyway, thank you for staying up. I hope you get a good night's sleep, and in the morning, I hope it's all good in retrospect. John Smith on your radar.
Thanks, John.
And thanks again to the folks who've been listening so far and contributing. And now I want to bring in somebody who is actually close to where I really did grow up, in the Philadelphia area, Lisa Jeanette.
Hey there.
Hi there.
The other Devin. The other Devin.
Yes, I know. I thought I would maybe fool him, but I guess I didn't. So yes, well, you are a Philadelphia native, but where exactly are you now?
In Westchester, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb 45 minutes away from Philly, west
Yep.
of Philly.
Yep. Not too far from where, in fact, I did grow up. Cliff Eberhardt is also a neighbor of mine, not literally, but in the same neighborhood. And growing up in Philadelphia proper, in the city?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And how many siblings did you have?
I had 8 siblings and I was the youngest.
Whoa. And how involved were they in your musical upbringing?
They were, I used to sublet their guitars, my older siblings' guitars, and that's how that started. So they had guitars, I didn't, but I would sneak away and play their guitars when they weren't looking. And
Sublet them, you said?
Yes.
You had to pay them?
No, I didn't have to pay them. I just had to sneak around to do it.
Well, I hope they feel that they gave you good training one way or the
Oh,
other.
they did. They're so good to me. They did help so much, and they all, the funny thing is, it's like a jukebox at home because it was like so many different generations before me. So I had the older set that was into like Motown and that kind of thing, and then the middle set that was sort of into I grew up listening to Harry Chapin and Cat Stevens and things like that. And then my brothers that were closest to me, well, the one was into like Neil Young and Jackson Brown and Jonathan Edwards. And then the two that were closer to me were more into like hard rock, like progressive rock, Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith. So I really had the whole gamut going at the house.
Now, where did you study and what did you study?
So I studied at Temple University. I studied double bass performance, and I tried to do that for a while, and then life happened, and I just ended up having to work. I needed security in my life, so I couldn't do the full-time musician thing. So I still have a day job, but I did play in, and I still do, Mainline Symphony, which I know that you're connected to. So way back when, I was
my
probably...
mother was involved in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as a musician, but as a supporter. And of course, Susan Werner was a Temple alum.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we didn't know each other. I've like people that I went to school with that know her, but I never knew her, and it's a shame. That would have been pretty cool if I would have known her back then, but I didn't. Yeah.
So, who are your mentors? I know there's one in particular.
Yeah, Vance Gilbert is my coach and my mentor, and he's just been, a gift, like just in terms of songwriting and really honing my skills. And I think the album I just put out is highly attributed to, the songwriting is highly attributed to taking that coaching with him for the past couple of years. It's been really awesome.
He's been known to do it at NERFA and Folk Alliance as well, but I guess you get the full undivided attention from him on that, right?
Well, that's the thing. 1 year at NERFA, 2017, I was volunteering. I made a last-minute decision to go, so I didn't have anything to play. I volunteered. I actually brought my bass, but I ended up lending that to someone for the whole weekend, so I never saw it. But I saw him. I observed him coaching a class at NERFA, and I was like, I need that. Like, he would just, the way he could make someone, like, from 1 minute just sound like okay to the next where you get chills. Like, it just floored me. So, and then it took me like 9 months to actually get a coaching. I just stalked him for 9 months, and then finally I did.
Well, I guess it's a master class for sure. Of course, he's a Philadelphia native himself.
Yes.
And, I know that your album, which I will put up here, was produced by Glenn Barrett at Morningstar Studios, which is renowned for recordings. But how involved are you with the music scene in Philadelphia overall?
So, I'm involved. It's not my full-time thing. So, I play in some venues here and there, but I'm not like full-time at it all the time. So, but the Philly music scene, I do go to songwriting workshops, and we have some song circles that I do. And there's not a more supportive group in the world than the Philadelphia songwriter community. It's just they're so supportive of each other, and they've been a gift to me as well. Just like being kind of just having my back all the time. So it's been really good.
I just hung out with a couple of your confreres, Megan Carey and Marion Holiday, just a couple weeks ago, and Marion is on your radar right now. Maybe you get some comments from her.
I love them. They've been so good to me and invited me to some of their shows and to play, and I'm so lucky to have them both in my life. I really am.
They are good souls, that's for sure. What do you mean by the term kaleidoscopic folk?
So I made that up. I'm trying to get it to catch on, kaleidoscope folk. But it's, to me, I don't fall strictly into any genre. So I kind of, weave in and out of, and it's hard to even say when I try to explain what genre I'm in. It's hard. Some people hear musical theater. Some people hear a little jazzish. Not jazz, but jazzish. Some people hear folk. So it's, I kind of am cross-genre, which is hard to market. I mean, it's good because it's maybe not something you hear all the time, but it's also hard because it's just hard to market it.
Well, things that cross musical barriers and borders, that's where I like to go, and maybe that's one of the reasons I like hearing you. So why don't you give us a little kaleidoscopic on your radar right now. Please
Sure.
Welcome Lisa Jeanette.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I think I'll open with the title track to my album, Jellyfish on the Moon. In the early 1990s, NASA sent 2,500 jellyfish into space. They must have gotten a little frisky on the way up because they came back with 60,000 jellyfish. Jellyfish and humans are alike in one peculiar way. Jellyfish have calcium nitrate crystals in the perimeter of their bell that help them tell up from down. And we humans have that in our inner ear as well. But when they brought the jellyfish that had been born in space back to Earth, they found they could no longer tell up from down. They had evolved. And I get that. I wasn't born here, I was born on the moon. I don't know what's up or what's down. I wasn't supposed to leave my home. I wasn't supposed to be found here with gravity holding me close to the ground. I have a resistance to east and to west. I don't want to go either way. But with much persistence I'm moving on. But in what direction I cannot say, because gravity is holding me close to the ground. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm evolving. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm revolving and I don't know now, but I'll find my way somehow. You wouldn't believe if I told you the truth. You won't understand what it meant. Turns out my life was transported here. I was a mad scientist experiment, and they let me go and released me into the cold. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm evolving. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm revolving and I don't know now, but I'll find my way somehow. Excuse me please, there has been some mistake. I was born to be free and float in outer space. You brought me down to earth, now I can't find my place, and I'm topsy-turvy. I'm topsy-turvy. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm evolving. I am a jellyfish birthed on the moon. I'm revolving and I don't know now, but I'll find my way somehow. Thank you so much. So I have something on my album that I call the Brahms Trilogy. It's 3 songs, and it's about the love triangle between Johannes Brahms and Clara and Robert Schumann. They are composers in the mid-19th century. And Clara Schumann, she was a virtuoso pianist. She was a touring musician. She toured the Netherlands. She toured Russia. She toured England. She was a working mom. She had 8 children. She was married to Robert Schumann, who was the premier composer of his day. He was the kingmaker. And one day, Johannes Brahms, known as Jojo in this song, knocked on their door and rocked their world. I am married to the kingmaker, but of all the kings he chooses, Jojo's a ball breaker. He's a heart taker, and they call him the darling of the muses. When I entered the parlor, Jojo sat at the piano. He had diamonds in his eyes and his hair was a halo, and he began to play like nothing I'd ever heard. It was crazy, made me dizzy. I think smoking is the word. The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. Jojo kisses my children at night and tucks them into bed. We traded tunes for days, took evening walks after tea. Nothing happened, I'm ashamed, though there was no impropriety. But he does give me a charge, and he blows all my fuses. How did I fall in love with the darling of the muses? Tongue started wagging after me and my kids. I wish I'd had half the fun that they'd imagined that I did. But I got bills to pay, I got work to do. Ain't it funny how Jojo didn't get a scarlet letter too? The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. Jojo kisses my children at night and tucks them into bed. The kingmaker left me when he jumped into the Rhine. The voices in his head were so much stronger than mine. But I loved him with a vengeance, every moment here gone. He left me with Jojo, but he also left me all alone. The king is in the counting house, counting all the voices in his head. And when he took his last breath, I turned to Jojo and said, let's take a trip together, but he blew his kisses to me. He said he'd rather be alone or as long as he was free. Now my heart is broken twice, and I'm left with all those bruises. How did I fall in love with the darling of the muses? And now I'm in the counting house, counting all the voices in my head. And now I'm in the counting house, counting all the voices in my head. And now I'm in the counting house. That is called Darling of the Muses, and Darling of the Muses was actually the name Robert Schumann called Johannes Brahms. Because Johannes Brahms was so talented, they never heard anything like him before. So I have a trilogy. I'm going to do one more song from that trilogy. It's called You Don't Look My Way. It's this. So that was in the voice of Clara Schumann. This is more in the voice of Robert Schumann. He was pretty cool with their relationship. He realized there was a strong bond with Clara Schumann and Brahms, and he was cool with it. I wrote this as if I were Robert Schumann. I don't know if I would be so cool with it. I think I would be brokenhearted because Robert Schumann, he was mentored by Clara Schumann's father. He was a student of Clara Schumann's father, and Clara Schumann's father was against them getting married, and he sued her father for her hand. So he went to great lengths to, against his mentor, against his teacher, just to win her hand. So this is called You Don't Look My Way. This is how I would feel if I were Robert. I'd been so high on your love, came to rely on your love. Now I ask why. Got a degree in your love, got a paper decree of your love for eternity. You don't look my way. Got down on my knees for your love, sued your enemies for your love, cut down family trees. You don't look my way. I faced every fear for your love, shed salty tears for your love, gave my best years. But now you don't look my way. Who made the stars cross up in the sky? Who got you singing a new tune? Who made your heart skip a beat away from mine? Who put the lasso around the moon? You know that I feed on your love, beg and I plead for your love. I've got a need. You don't look my way. You know I would die for your love. God knows I've tried for your love. You're not satisfied. You don't look my way. Who made the stars cross up in the sky? Who got you singing undertone? Who made your heart skip a beat away from mine? Who put the lasso around the moon? Where do I go without your love? What do I have to show without your love? Who do I know? If I don't know you, please set me free from this love. Lord, rescue me from this love. You're all I see. You don't look my way. Thank you so much. So that's a second song of the trilogy. There's another song that it's called Sky Don't Fall, and you can catch that on the album or on Spotify or any many other places you would see my music. I think now, let's see, I'll play Never Been to War. This is my war protest song. Okay. I'm just going to do I don't know how to do that. I'm getting a tip. Oh, I know how to do it. I just move that back. Just move the mic back a little bit. Okay. This is called Never Been to War. This is self-explanatory. War is dust, war is loud sound, war is boots upon the ground, but I've never been to war. War is miles of shifting sand, war is blood upon my hands, but I've never been to war. I've seen it on a movie screen, I've heard a childless mother scream, I've seen the documentaries, but I've never been. War is suffering, war is pain, war is money down the drain, war is inhuman. As you're counting up the cost, how do you count the life that's lost when you've never been to war? You've seen it on a movie screen, you've heard a childless mother scream, you've seen the documentaries, but you've never been. All is fair in love and war, they say. What's fair about them anyway? 'Cause war hurts. 'Cause war hurts. And it never goes away. The wounds may heal, the hurting stays where we've never been. Don't keep your wars all in one place. Plan future wars in outer space, but you've never been to war. Fill your army with the brave, 'cause if you're wealthy you get waived, and you never go to war. You've seen it on a movie screen, you've heard a childless mother scream, you've seen the documentaries, but you've never been. All is fair in love and war, they say. What's fair about them anyway? 'Cause war hurts. 'Cause war Thank you so much. It's called Never Been to War. Oh, Drew Vogel, thank you for showing up. That's wonderful. You're wonderful to see. Joey Jenkins, thank you. That's so nice. Thank you for being here. That's just wonderful. I think I will do my Jolene's reply song. Or should I do something on piano? I'll do this, and then I'll move to piano I think I have maybe a few more. I posted a meme of Dolly Parton, and it was a really cute picture of Dolly Parton, and it said, feeling cute, think I'll kick Jolene's ass. And, one of my singer-songwriter friends, Rob Bruckner in Philly, in this songwriting community that is, like I said, so supportive, Julianne Ott, and I see that she was on the stream too. Just really wonderful people. He said, I think you should write the reply song. And I am not good with prompts, but for some reason, this one spoke to me. Just thinking about the song Jolene. If you don't know the song, it's about how Dolly Parton is worried that Jolene's going to steal her man. And this is kind of what I came up with if Jolene had something to say, what would she say? So here it is. Me, Jolene, who takes the blame. I hear you yodeling my name every single time you get the chance. You declare that I'm the one who came along and spoiled your fun. You're just using me for your stage dance. Don't blame me. Some say you're the finest woman they've ever seen. I don't want to compete with you. I don't want your man wants me. That song you sing is such a fraud. You spin your tail like Charizard, as if your live nor die depends on me. Your imaginings put me through hell. The truth is stranger than the story you tell. Listen up, the truth will set you free. Don't blame me. Some say you're the finest woman they've ever seen. I don't want to compete with you. I don't want your man wants me. Your man is not the one for me. But if he wants another, cut him loose, set him free. I see the sadness in your eyes, yeah, that's a look I recognize when a situation's finally seen. And if you didn't think I'd done you wrong, I bet we would get along. We have more in common than it seems. Don't blame me. Some say you're the finest woman they've ever seen. I don't want to compete with you. I don't want your man wants me. Your man is not the one for me. But if he wants another, cut him loose, set him free. But don't blame me. I'd say you're the finest woman I've ever seen. And I don't want to compete with you. Don't want to compete with you. I don't want your man, I want you. Thank you so much. That is my reply song. I think I don't know if I should probably do one more. Well, maybe I'll do I don't know how many more I've got. But I'll do one or two on piano, and then maybe end with two more. Okay. This is called Top of the Ferris Wheel. I ran as fast as I could down to the storefront corner, peeking over the row homes, hoping to see the promise of the Ferris wheel, part of the sphere. Looking back at me from the sky, I could see colors, the lights all aglow. Oh, how they twinkle at night. It's time for the carnival. can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. Didn't have much to hope for, never dreamed of diamonds or rubies. Came by the crazy, honestly, learned how to act sane from the movies. Ah, you should have seen me back then. I was drunk with desire. I wanted to be good at something, good to someone, prove them all to be liars. It's time for the carnival, can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide on the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. I sit on the bench in Cape May. October lies mute on the shore. The church is a junkie's playground. The Connies don't stop there no more. Yes, it's a bit chilly in autumn, but I'm still seeking thrills and I have the right. No one should hold that against me. Everyone deserves to see pretty lights. It's time for the carnival, can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. Fast you go fast or slow as you might. All of life is a circle, catch as you can, don't hold on too tight. Just when you think you've gone forward, you might go backward again. Don't waste your time counting accomplishments if you can't count on your friends. It's time for the carnival, can I go? Hop a ride on the merry-go-round. Let's glide to the top of the Ferris wheel. I can see everything better from here. Thanks. That's Top of the Ferris Wheel. And Michael Ronstadt plays cello on that song on the album, Jellyfish on the Moon. And it's just so beautiful, his cello playing. It's so funny because I think like, I can't imagine it without the cello. And then I had to imagine it because I can't have him here all the time. So I would love to. So I'm going to end. I was going to play more piano, but I'm going to end on this. If I can think of how it goes. I never thought I'd be around to watch my hair turn silver brown overnight. For all the fears the world lays bare, to be afraid of my own hair isn't right. So I embrace the gray, although it seems so radical and strange. If wisdom comes with hair of white, well, let's just call them highlights. Come on. Bring this change on, no, I won't hang on to who I used to be. Oh no, I am moving on, getting closer, positively free, aging like a son of a bee. Da 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 da. I've been around enough to know that hearts that break grow 7 times their size. And those who we admire are strong, to place on pedestals is wrong, I realize. But I do it all again, make all the same friends and love with no bounds. For lonely in my darkest hour, the hand of God in all its power towards me right around. Oh no, I won't hang on to who I used to be. Oh no, I'm moving on, getting positively free. Aging like a son of a bee. La da da, la da da. You might see my hair aqua blue, or there may surface a tattoo along the way. For though I'm standing in my truth, I might steal a lesson from the youth and play. So I say you do you and I'll do me, and we'll all just be fine. For those who close to me well know I play with puzzles and Legos and color outside the lines. Oh no, I won't hang on to who I used to be. Oh no, I am moving on, getting closer, positively free. Aging like a son of a bee. Woo-hoo, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Woo-hoo, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Woo-hoo, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Sing along. Woo-hoo, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo.
I can applaud
Oh, thank you.
on behalf of all the people who you can't hear. That's me, the surrogate for everybody's out there. Lisa Jeanette on your radar, and great songs, great vocals, great piano playing. I think you share some of Susan Warner's multi-genre kind of writing. So have you had a chance to meet her since you've
I've
been in
never
Philadelphia?
met her. I'm a fan, but I've never met her, and no, I haven't. So
Well, I'll be running into her at Falcon Ridge at the end of the month. Maybe I can whisper in her ear that she should check you out.
oh, that's so
and-
nice. Thank you. This was such an honor to be here. Honestly.
Well, it's great to have you as a part of On Your Radar, and I should whisper in the ears of the people who are listening on and watching on Facebook and YouTube that now's your time to show your love for Lisa as well as John, as well as the forthcoming Squirrel Hillbillies, to donate a little something into the tip jar at John Platt's On Your Radar. It's paypal.me on your radar 2020. It's right there on the screen. And also, ask your friends or share with your friends that the love that you're having here, and we'll make it spread forth to everybody. So stick around for Squirrel Hillbillies, and thanks once again to Lisa
so much.
Jeanette. So I mentioned the Squirrel Hillbillies. We're going to go from one end of this Keystone State to the other, from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. Please welcome Gary Truth and Jenny Wolsk. If I got your names pronounced right, did I pronounce your names right?
Hi.
Yeah, good enough. So the first question I always have to ask is, are you a couple or just a musical couple?
A musical couple.
Aha. So we make assumptions, and I don't want to, pigeonhole you. So how did music find you then?
We have a good story. We were part of a group that was called the Folk Orchestra of Pittsburgh that met at a local church. And there were a few of us who were real diehard musicians, and 4 of us would stay after rehearsals and play for more time. And we formed a little band. And then Gary and I started staying at the end of those rehearsals to play even more. And we decided to form our duo. So we've been playing together for about 10 years.
Wow. Okay. Now you both have a New York connections, though. Am I right?
Yes.
I'm from upstate New York,
How far upstate?
way upstate, Rome, New York, which is right in the middle of the state. It's where they started building the Erie Canal,
Okay.
right there.
And you, Jenny?
I'm from New York City, from Greenwich Village, in fact.
Yeah.
Born in the 60s in Greenwich Village.
But you managed to escape the folk scene as a youngster?
I was really not aware of it, frankly. I was much more of a musical theater kid, Broadway shows and that sort of thing.
Did you do that in college? Or?
Actually, I was performing as a child while I was in New York. And
Really?
Once I went to college, I was in a singing group and some theater there, but that was the extent of it.
What college?
I went to Stanford in California.
Oh, well, that's that's across the country. And what about you, Gary?
Yeah, I went to school in Clarkson University, which is way at the top of the state
Okay.
of New York State, up by Canada.
So how did you end up in Pittsburgh?
Well, I ended up in Pittsburgh through my job. So I graduated with a degree in chemical engineering and started working for Alcoa Aluminum way up in Messina, New York. And then I transferred down to Pittsburgh in 1980, and I haven't found any reason to leave. So I've been here since.
Well, yeah, it's a great city. Really an underrated music scene. I know. I don't know whether I mentioned to you directly. I have a cousin lives in
Yes.
Squirrel Hill and other friends, and Buffalo Rose performed just a couple months ago. They're awesome, and Brad Yoder was an On Your Radar alum as well. So explain this Squirrel Hill connection, because I know about Squirrel Hill, but probably nobody else does. Is On Your Radar.
Yeah, we've discovered we've become ambassadors for Squirrel Hill, because when we travel, which we do a lot, people often say, "Why Squirrel Hillbillies? Why not the Beaver Hillbillies or the Groundhog Hillbillies or something?"
Well, the Muswell Hillbillies, the Kings did that. But okay, so your explanation is?
So we say, well, we are honoring the neighborhood that we both reside in, and Squirrel Hill unfortunately got a lot more well known a couple years ago when we had a terrible shooting here.
At the Tree of Life Synagogue,
yes,
right? Yeah,
exactly, which is just around the corner, in fact, from where we're standing at the moment. And so when we formed our duo, we were originally using our last names, and a friend of ours, BJ Cersei, who's also a musician, said we sounded like tax accountants and we needed a more appropriate name for our quirky duo. And so we kind of bounced a lot of ideas off each other. And one day we're walking on Murray Avenue, right down in the heart of Squirrel Hill, and I thought, we're the Squirrel Hillbillies. That's what we are. So it's been a good name for us for getting laughs locally and promoting Pittsburgh when we travel.
You can insert tongue into your cheek for those who know, right? Now, tell me a little bit about how your songwriting works, because I don't know how the credits are divvied up, and you each do lead vocals. So please explain that process.
We write every song fully together. We don't have any songs that were written by only one. But generally, the idea for a song will come from one of us, either the musical idea or the lyrics, and then we just work it. And sometimes what we end up with has almost nothing to do with what we started with, and other times the song doesn't veer very far from where it began. But we'd say that some of our songs are coming from inside and our own stories, and others are things that we see, and then we also just like to imagine fanciful things, and so we have a wide range of topics covered. But the person singing lead is not necessarily the person that generated the idea. We figure that out at the end, what seems to fit right in our voices.
Yeah, I see sometimes Gary's songs kind of have, a jaunty, maybe tongue-in-cheek thing, and yours are kind of more pensive, and cover Buddhism and Tibetan singing bowls and stuff like that. So
it's funny because he's the Buddhist,
Okay, so there you go. But now the last question is: you have multiple instruments. Who plays what, and what will we be hearing tonight?
Gary plays guitar very, very beautifully, and so he holds down the instrumental of every one of our songs, and I generally fill in around the edges musically with instruments. So sometimes a mandolin or ukulele or bass or percussion, and then we both sing on virtually every song. Occasionally only one will sing, so we do harmonize, and I think today what we're giving you is all songs that are guitar, ukulele, bass, and percussion.
Okay, well, I'll settle for that. It's a great package here, the Squirrel Hillbillies, On Your Radar.
One, two. Mama say, son, I gotta run, the music's on the loose. The band is on the corner, ain't no time to snooze the room. Drummers making thunder with the rumble of the bass. Folks swinging from the lamppost in the latest dancing craze. Billy the baker banging cans and pots, and look out in the fire tar shouts, things are getting hot. Mama say, boy, did you hear that noise? My banjo popped its string. Hand me down my old trombone, gonna make that metal sing. Blues are at the crossroads, playing diddly bows and rags. Weatherman, he called for rain, but we got razzmatazz. Little cousin Lizzie belting out high seas, and prisoners in the pokey yell, we think we found the key. Mama say, child, it's going wild, stretching far and wide. Rhythm sections pounding and the horns are screeching high. No time to find your boot, Jeanette, shine those old black shoes. Just grab your axe and pork pie hat, I hear my favorite tune. Old Uncle Ernie plays his clarinet, and bones in the graveyard singing, ain't dead yet.
On the Loose, which is the title track from our most recent CD released during the pandemic. And you can see how much fun we were having during the pandemic. Now, we wrote that song before the pandemic started. And I got to be a guitar tech there, handing Gary a pick. That's a first for me.
Good job.
Thank you very much. He has a really funny guitar tech story, but that's for another concert. Dharma Jane, our next song, is also from our most recent CD, and it has a Buddhist chant embedded in it. Om Mani Padme Hum. Down by the place where the three rivers flow, the waves paint your face on the waters below. The lilt of your voice softly chanting a line returns as an echo that settles my mind. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Crows in the graveyard blacken the trees, filling the branches with feathery leaves. The lift of your hand as you bid them goodbye. The darkness erupts and a storm takes the sky. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
We have our Tibetan singing bowl for that. Closest we come to a sing-along on that song. Not really. But it is nice when folks sing along on the chant. We're going to give you a song from our second CD called Woolly Old Days. It's funny that I couldn't remember because it's a song about memory. We do a lot of shows at libraries pre-pandemic. It's a favorite venue for us. As a matter of fact, a lot of libraries have endowed music series, and so on Sunday afternoons they'll often have music. And it wasn't until we were standing in the Henry Ford Library in Dearborn, Michigan, that we discovered that we realized that this song that we wrote has not one but 3 references to the Ford Motor Company in it. So we give you Woolly Old Days.
My old man drove an old Ford seersucker suit, knocking on doors, checking his list for the next woman's name. He'd sell her a Bible, walking right in. He'd talk about life and how loneliness was such a sin. Then she'd smile, ask him to stay. Fed by the faithful, led by the stars, he followed the road, steered with his heart. All that he needed coming his way in those days, those wild, woolly old days. Dad didn't leave me his charm or good looks, just the key to his Ford and a stack of good books. I learned all the verses, gave them away. I drove to the heartland, slept with the trees, listened to rivers that washed over me. Every bird, worm, and pebble had something to say. Living a different American dream without any jump bonds or pyramid schemes. All that I needed coming my way in those days, those wild, woolly old days. Words on a page, too small to read, blinded by scenes flashing up on the screen. I put on the coffee, close up the shades. My son comes to visit Sundays at 5. He lights up the room with the news of his life. I smile as I listen, ask him to stay. Someday soon gonna sink through the floor, meet my old man climbing his Ford. All that we need will keep coming our way, like those days, those wild, woolly old days. Those days, those wild, woolly old days. Those days, those wild, woolly old days.
So when we wrote that song, we both still had our fathers, and since then both of them have passed away. But that song wasn't about either of them anyway. It was inspired by someone we met. This next song is not about my mom either.
Good thing.
Although, hi, Mom. This song's called Bittersweet, and it's on our most recent CD. Mama called me Sugar Plum and topped my bottle off with rum. That's how I got rotten teeth and my taste for bittersweet. Cupboard full of pixie sticks, refrigerator on the fritz. A growing child has gotta eat. I got my fill of bittersweet. 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 Before I even got my teeth, I got my taste for bittersweet. If you like your peaches ripe and soaked in syrup overnight, and find yourself another shot, 'cause bittersweet is all I got. Milky chocolates in a box, glass of bubbly on the rocks. Did you miss the candy grams? Bittersweet is what I am. Bittersweet, bittersweet. Shake your box of recipes. I'm under B for bittersweet. Bittersweet, bittersweet. Lord knows I'm no beauty queen, with my callous feet and rotten teeth. But you can have a piece of me if what you crave is bittersweet.
So should we do something about the low battery on
All
the
right, you
phone?
can maybe grab a charger.
I can do that.
All right,
Maybe we just
I will
we can just leave that in. That's,
regale them with what was I going to say about mouth? Yeah, so on that song we feature Gary's mouth trombone, which we used to call it the mouth trombone, and then we met Davey Sturdivant, and we heard him play his beautiful cornet, and we decided that Gary plays a mouth cornet. It's a better description of what he does on that. Let's see, our next song is what I'll say it's a commissioned song, which is not quite accurate, but we know somebody here in Pittsburgh who has a green burial ground, and he was having an open house and asked us to play at it, and asked if we would modify one of our songs, which is a song about healthy living, to include a verse about healthy dying, and wanted us to talk about green burial. So rather than retrofit that song, we decided we would Gary's back and we're charged in, back plugged in. We decided we would write a whole song about green burial. So that's this next one, and it's called Bury Be Green.
If I die in New York City,
I won't need an airplane ride. Float me up the Hudson River to Dutchess County's burial site, nestled in among the hanging vines. And if I go in Shenandoah, keep the campsite fire ablaze. Send me down to Duck Run Graveyard, bury me green in a bygone way. Seeds and flower petals mark my place. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Burning like the sun, rooted in the ground. Hallelujah, hallelujah. The sky my mausoleum, the earth my endless vow. And if we're sailing on the ocean and my life decides to leave, trim the sails for deeper waters, give my body to the sea. I'll feed the fish and hope they like the feast. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Rising like the sun, rooted in the ground. Hallelujah, hallelujah. The sky my mausoleum, the earth my endless vow. Lingering a lifetime, drifting like the clouds. When this life is over, wrap me in a shroud. The moon a precious jewel, the wind a sacred sound. Creatures bearing witness as you lay my body down. And if I die right here in Pittsburgh, as the last breath leaves my lungs, haul me over to Penn Forest. Tell Pete my song's been sung. Pet the goats and give the trees a hug. Turn the compost for the hungry bugs. No trace is a way to show love. I hope to leave this world as it was.
That goes out to all the goats and compost critters at Penn Forest.
Yeah.
They have composting there?
Yeah.
Obviously, they have composting in some level, but I'm
Well,
wondering if
yeah.
they also had food. Yes,
Yeah.
composting. Well, this next song is called Firefly, and it's off of our second album, and very timely because we have many of them right now in Pittsburgh, which is where we are recording this.
Dazzling firefly, you mark a year gone by. Your luminescence takes me by surprise. A thrill to catch and hold. You make my fingers glow. Holding on is easier than letting go. Among the shadows in the yard, you are a fallen star. The way the seasons change, the moon that waxes till it wanes, I wonder what becomes of what we cannot save. There is too much
much risk in metamorphosis, but maybe there's a chance for a gentle shift among the shadows in the yard. You are a fallen star. Like synchronicity, are your flashes code, or maybe only random bursts of energy? Inside a spark like yours, so cool and pure, catch a glimpse of confidence and faith restored. Dazzling firefly, dazzling firefly, you mark a year gone by, gone by. When we went to the UK, we discovered they don't have fireflies over there or lightning bugs. So that was
They have something though.
those stinging, something that stung them. Remember, they warned us
Yeah,
about the little stingy bugs. All right, well, we're going to close out. Say thank you, John. We're going to close out with Goody Shoes, which is the title track from our second CD. And for this song, I need my drum kit. Which fell apart.
Oh no.
So we do travel a lot, and so carrying a full drum kit wouldn't make sense. Plus, it wouldn't really make sense for what I play on it. But this has been something accompanying us on many trips, which is our portable snare, a little baby splash cymbal, an S-clip, and some twine. And it's done well by us. This song opens with a reference to Jerry's Records, which is right here in Squirrel Hill.
Well, I cashed in some vinyl at Jerry's store. He gave me $20, then he showed me the door. I picked up a guitar, sang him this song. He said, take your finger picky and move along. Move along, yeah, move along. He said, take your finger picky and move along. Well, I passed by the police shaking down a man. I said, maybe he's doing just the best he can. The man said, me, I'm doing all wrong. Take your goody shoes and move along. Move along, yeah, move along. He said, take your goody shoes and move Well, I saw St. Peter. He was leaning on his gate, folks lining up, so I had to wait. He said to me, son, you should listen to your mom. Take your rubbernecky and move along. Move along. Yeah, move along. He said, take your rubbernecky and move. Take your finger picky and move. Take your goody shoes and move along.
The Squirrel Hillbillies. And, yep, well, you're live, right?
Yeah, we're live.
So, but between Jenny's percussion and Gary's mouth trumpet or cornet, I guess you got an imaginative approach to being a band, right?
We definitely are having fun.
We try to have fun. That's it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the art behind you, and is that artist the same artist who did the cover? Whoops, the cover of this?
Yes, and it happens to be my 20-year-old daughter.
Really? Oh,
yes,
wow.
She did. Sorry, the one you're holding, yes,
Yeah.
is she did that painting. These two were done by Julie Stundon, who's a local artist.
Oh.
And then our next CD to come out, which is already recorded, is also by my daughter. But our first CD's artwork was by Bill Versack, who's a very well-known watercolor painter. So we're very happy with all of our CD art.
Well, you got a certain look to your art, I must say, and a great sound in what you're doing. Thank you so much for being on your radar. Let's bring in some of the other people. John Smith had to go to bed, but Lisa Jeanette is still with us. And Lisa, winning fans all across the internet as well as in the green room. And
Well, I'm a new fan of the Squirrel Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Delightful. That was just so fun.
Thank you.
Well, that's the beauty of this series, is that people get turned on to music that they weren't familiar with, and they go, "Wow, I came here for this person, but I go away with these other people." So, I think the people who are watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube are getting the same idea, and I hope they're getting the idea that by donating, you can show your love in a palpable way. We'd like to crank it up a little bit. It's sort of like public radio. It's the honor system, and we want to get as many people as possible. We don't have a challenge grant, but we have the challenge to the people to do it in their way. And so I thank you guys as well as John Smith. Thank the people who are watching. I want to thank particularly tonight two other people. Rob Hinkle, who is the brains behind StreamYard. He's our producer extraordinaire. He's bailed us out of me in particular of I don't know how many crises with calm and humor and stuff like that, and it's really been a real delight to get to know you better, but to get to know your appreciation for other musicians. Rob, you're a really special guy.
Thanks for letting me do this.
Yeah, and Gordon Nash, who's the social media maven, who keeps track of all that stuff. Gordon, is Gord's Gold on tonight on the
Yes,
Folk
it
Music
is.
Network?
11
Notebook,
o'clock.
okay.
Folk Music Notebook.
Okay, so this is significant because after 13 months, we're wrapping up the virtual On Your Radar, and Gordon had the idea that we could persevere online, and Rob made it happen. But the word is out that concerts are coming back to New York and other places, and Rockwood Music Hall has been active the last couple of months. So I'm going to take August off, as I usually do, and the On Your Radar will return to Rockwood Music Hall Stage 3 on September 14th. And we'll have a Philadelphia group. Yes, that's another bit of the great Philadelphia community, Jefferson Very and the Urban Acoustic Coalition. Then somebody who's from Baltimore, who Rob is really a close friend of.
I know that girl.
What you say?
I know that girl.
Yeah. Well, she's been your partner in Yami for I don't know how many years, but she's also have her own solo career. So it's always been a custom that I don't have repeat artists for On Your Radar, but if one of my favorites is doing a different incarnation, the exception get made, and I'm really excited because Heather's got a beautiful voice and a great song. So she'll be another one of the people in September, and then somebody from Boston named Bob Bradshaw, a singer-songwriter. So we've got the Mid-Atlantic states and the Northeast are covered, and I'll be in New York, and I hope maybe you who are out listening today will be able to come as well. I did have some sort of a focus group from some of the regulars that said, yeah, I think we're ready, and I think it's going to be safe to go to Stage 3 at Rockwood. And, we just got to get back in the groove. So anyway, it's been such a delight to, have this whole 13 months with Rob under our wing. Best of luck to Lisa and to Squirrel Hillbillies, and of course to John Smith. Take care. I will see you around in September.